Bye.
Election Day is just days away. We have your 2016 campaign update.
Plus, we have a sneak peek at an upcoming documentary about the Flint Hills. That and more coming up on Channel 8 News.
Also, you might want to go outside and enjoy some of this warm weather, for it might not be so warm later in the week. Find out more in weather.
This is KKSU LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Welcome to the first November edition of Channel 8 News. I'm Mackenzie Dinas.
And I'm Alicia Salcedo. As Election Day approaches, it is important for first-time voters to be prepared. Reporter Lisa Olberding has a story about what to expect at the polls on Tuesday.
With presidential, state, and local races, state Supreme Court elections, a sales tax referendum, and a Kansas constitutional amendment, the ballot for Manhattan residents will be very long this year. But County Clerk Rich Vargo hopes these important issues will drive more people to the polls.
What we always look at comparatively is the last presidential election, which was in 2012, and that percentage turnout for Riley County was 62%. What a lot of people have to realize is 62% seems low, but people have to remember in Riley County, with having a large student body population and a military installation, our population is more transient. So due to federal voter registration laws, it's harder for us to keep our voter registration records as clean.
One important group of voters that could have a huge impact on turnout, especially in a college town like Manhattan, will be students, many of which will be voting for the first time on November 8th.
It's kind of confusing because I'm not from Riley County, so I had to do the advanced voting and do it by mail, so that was harder to go online and get the form because no one really told me how to do that. And the whole process and the whole election is just kind of upsetting because this is my first time voting and it's not really what I thought it was going to be like.
First-time voters should also be aware that a photo ID is required to vote in the state of Kansas. Voters are also encouraged to check out a sample ballot to know what to expect and to make the whole voting process smoother. This and more information can be found on Riley County's election website listed below. In Manhattan, I'm Lisa Olberding, Channel 8 News.
There will be 30 polling locations across Riley County on Tuesday. You can find your polling place by visiting myvoteinfo.voteks.org.
A new poll shows Republican Donald Trump leading Democrat Hillary Clinton in the Sunflower State, but Clinton did gain on Trump since a similar poll came out in July. Fort Hays State University Docking Institute poll found that 49% of voters preferred Trump, while 39% of voters planned to vote for Clinton. Trump's 8% lead is down from 17% in July. Another 9% of voters planned to vote for Libertarian Gary Johnson and 1% for Green Party nominee Jill Stein. 4% of voters said they will write in another candidate. While presidential election may grab most of the headlines, there is one local ballot question that may have an impact on your wallet. Channel 8's Grant Nicholson has more on how the ballot question might affect you.
Earlier this year, the Manhattan City Commission approved a resolution to place a special question on the ballot this election season, asking residents to approve an increase to the city sales tax.
The community to consider a 0.2% increase to the sales tax in the community. 95% of it will go towards street maintenance. The other 5% will go towards safe routes to school.
For every $100 spent on taxable goods like groceries or entertainment, the taxpayer will only be spending an extra 20 cents, but that little bit added up over 10 years can have a big impact in our community.
The proposed sales tax increase would generate nearly $2 million in annual revenue for Manhattan to continue a citywide effort to keep existing road conditions at or above the minimum requirement.
We want to try and keep the street segment pavement condition index above 70. So pavement condition index is a function of severity, density, and the types of distresses that are in the pavement. And our intent is to try and keep the overall average above 70.
The areas in red on this map indicate areas of road in Manhattan that failed to reach the minimum requirement of 70 PCI and have been designated for repair under the proposed sales tax increase question. One benefit to an increase of the sales tax is that it's able to capture outside revenue from those who don't live in Manhattan. Nearly 31% of yearly sales tax revenue within the city is estimated to come from outside sources. The proposed sales tax increase question on the ballot this election would expire in 2027, with repairs and maintenance beginning as soon as next year. You can find more information about the proposed sales tax increase and how it impacts your community at cityofmhk.com. Reporting in Manhattan, Kansas, Grant Nicholson, Channel 8 News.
The proposed sales tax increase will also help fund the Safe Routes to School projects.
U.S. Senator Jerry Moran visited K-State last week to discuss the worldwide wheat blast. The session was led by Barbara Vallant, University Distinguished Professor of Plant Pathology, Interim President General Richard Myers, and Martin Draper, Department Head of Plant Pathology, were also present during the meeting. Moran listened as Vallant and Christian Cruz, Research Assistant Professor, explained the severity of wheat blast.
Grew up as a kid who was fascinated by politics. I wasn't one of those people that I've been trying to help who like science, mathematics, and research. I may have liked it, but I didn't have a skill set or intellect to pursue it. And I was interested in government and history and biographies of people who did great things in their lives. So while I loved politics, I was the kid who sat glued to the television watching the Republican National Convention, the Democrat National Convention as a 12-year-old. Politics today is different than what it was when I grew up, and I liked politics then better than I like it today.
Moran is running for re-election. He faces Democrat Patrick Wisner and Libertarian Robert Gerard.
Electronic cigarettes are promoted as a healthy alternative to smoking, but some want to see them gone from public places.
Plus, a former K-State instructor is set to premiere a new documentary on the Flint Hills. Find out more coming up on Channel 8 News.
What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and who serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition. Passion. You.
From the golden flowers that give our state its nickname, to Kansas City's Smoky Scarlet Barbecue, past the unique tint of limestone bedrock, we drive with pride to support future K-Staters. From the hilltops of Lawrence to the familiar streets of Aggieville, we love to show our purple pride. Whether you are K-State alumni or Wildcat fans, purchase the #1 Affinity license plate in Kansas today and help us paint the highway purple.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next. What will save lives and better the world? Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community. Progress. You.
Campus Visit give prospective students the chance to get a feel for life at K-State.
Channel 8's Carolina Mack tells us why campus visits are so important to recruiting new students.
Friday, October 28th, K-State's Department of New Student Services hosted 215 high school seniors and their guests from the Kansas City metro area for a day filled with K-State activities.
So the purpose of a senior day is for seniors in high school and any family members, most of the time parents, to give them the opportunity to come to campus and either get a first look at K-State or sometimes a second or third look at the university.
Students are given the opportunity to explore a specific academic area of their choosing, experience Manhattan, and go on a campus tour.
I think that senior days are so special because it's a large number of students that are all exploring the option of K-State. So everybody's excited about the university. They're probably, in the midst of their college search process, and that's, I think, a really exciting thing.
It's recruiting events like senior days and building renovations like the Bernie Family Welcome Center that has made K-State the #1 choice for graduating seniors in the state of Kansas.
I think it's really cool of our office that we're always trying to do things better, but we always want it to be about the student. So something that makes K-State is so great is we don't try to sell K-State to you, but we try to sell what you can do here at K-State, and we can tell you all the amazing things that we can offer you here.
In Manhattan, I'm Carolina Mack for Channel 8 News.
The next Senior Day is scheduled for November 7th. When new restaurants come to Aggieville, everyone benefits. Channel 8 News reporter Katie Howland has more.
Problems or legal provisions within the non-smoking ordinance. The largest drop in 20 years. And 2015 was also.
Survey of Manhattan, the average visitor to Manhattan will stay for about 2.5 days and spend roughly $311. To keep up with the demand for new attractions, Popeye's Fried Chicken and Wingstop have both been added to the Aggieville district.
I'm here in Aggieville at the brand new Popeyes, where brand new restaurants like these are essential for the economic growth of Manhattan.
Popeyes opened a little over a week ago and has been busy ever since. Fried chicken is not the only thing Popeyes is bringing to Manhattan. Over 50 permanent jobs have been created by the new establishment and is estimated to bring in over $2.5 million annually. But jobs and annual revenue are not the only benefits Manhattanites will be receiving.
Well, so first of all, it's going to give us some tasty food. And we're bringing that Louisiana cuisine to this market, and we're open late. We've invested $1,400,000 in this site, and so that alone, as obviously the Arby's that was here wasn't very appealing, and so we've built a brand new building. So we've added a nice aesthetic look to this area.
Their survey also found that shopping and dining is one of the main attractions that bring people to Manhattan. Aggieville is the oldest shopping district in the state of Kansas, and by adding these additional restaurants, shopping in Aggieville will continue to be encouraged.
You might want to stop in a shop and pick up something that's unique. Maybe something purple, or maybe it's something that, if you're not from Kansas, you could go to Acme Gifts and get something that's unique about Manhattan, Kansas. But anytime there's new dining establishments in the community, it's a good day.
In Aggieville for Channel 8 News, I'm Katie Howland.
Blue Moose restaurants and an IMAX theater are attractions that will be added to Manhattan in the near future to continue economic development.
Manhattan City's Commission held a first reading of a proposed ordinance prohibiting the use of electronic cigarettes in public places and places of employment. In June, the Riley County Public Health Advisory Council recommended that the City Commission prohibit vaping in the same way that they prohibit cigarettes. Supporters and opponents of the measure were at Tuesday's commission meeting. Go ahead.
Plenty of sports action to go over from the last week.
And plus, there's a former Channel 8 News Director, Dave Kendall, who joins us in the studio to talk about his upcoming documentary on the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve. Up next.
Better get ready, because here come the Wildcats.
Wiesman, does she hit a fourth? Oh my goodness, in the zone!
Lewis running the floor, catches, spins, and scores. How about that footwork? K-State have won in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The heart-pounding roar, a sea of purple, wielding twists and turns, a sincere smile and simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color. Foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty. Purple. You. The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
It's been unseasonably warm for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, the cooler temps return. Channel 8's Sophia Robinson joins us with our forecast. Sophia?
Yes, the temperatures are indeed going to be going down. If you plan on traveling anywhere such as Seattle or New York, you might want to pack a jacket with you. Since Seattle, they'll be going all the way down to 53 degrees, and New York will actually be dropping to about 60 degrees as well, currently dropping to about that temperature. If you are going to be going anywhere else other than that, you might be able to expect some rain, such as in Texas. You're going to be expecting a little bit of rain down in Texas as well, and it's going to be a little bit cloudy here in Kansas and a little bit up toward the western side of the country. So you might want to pack a jacket for that as well if you're going there, or if you're already there. You're going to want to wear a jacket if you go out to work or anything like that. Here on the Kansas maps, if you live anywhere towards western Kansas, then you already know that you're probably needing a jacket right about now, if not an actual fairly heavy winter coat. It's only about 45 degrees in western Kansas and only 61 in eastern. In central Kansas, it's around 50 degrees. And then going over to the 5-day forecast, we have 72 degrees on Thursday with a low of 46 degrees, a temperature of 72 degrees on Friday, tomorrow, with a low of 45 degrees. And on Saturday for the K-State game, it'll be a nice high of 71 degrees with a low of 48. The rest of the temperatures are 70 degrees and 67 degrees, and we'll be going back to you at the desk with Mackenzie.
Thanks, Sophia. I'm really looking forward to that 70-degree weather.
Same here.
And there's also a familiar face who returns to the Channel 8 studio. Dave Kendall, who was previously the Channel 8 news director, joins us to discuss his upcoming documentary.
He joins Channel 8's Vanessa Vlasic now to discuss his project. Vanessa?
Thanks, guys, and thank you so much for joining us, Dave. It's great to see you back in the studio.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Right, so I know you've been working on this project with your time here at K-State. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's a documentary. It's a 90-minute documentary about the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve in Chase County and the Flint Hills. Doing it in collaboration with the Flint Hills Discovery Center Foundation. So we have a local connection here to Manhattan, and there are several other Manhattan connections and K-State connections. So it's been an interesting project I've been working on for the last year and a half.
Great, well, it's really exciting. So how did you get started on it? Like, what was your inspiration for this project?
Well, my inspiration came when I discovered that this year was the 20th anniversary of the preserve, and it's also been the centennial, the 100 years of the National Park Service. So it seemed like a fitting time to look at the history of the preserve. And I knew it was there was a lot of story there to tell because I was around when there were proposals to create a preserve or a park, and there were some people that were for it and some people that were against it. So this is a chance to look at how a resolution was reached.
Okay, great. And how long have you been working on this? Like, how long has the process been for you?
Well, we started fundraising about a year and a half ago, so that's the first thing, writing a grant proposal. We got funding from the Kansas Humanities Council, and then we found some other supporters too, so that's part of it. And then lining up people to do the interviews. We interviewed about 24 people. And then it's a matter of getting the B-rolls through the different seasons, and so, you know, over a period of years shooting and then getting into the editing process.
All right, great. Well, I hear you have your trailer here for us to watch today, so why don't we take a look?
Good idea.
See.
These 5 million acres of native grass in the Flint Hills and the southern tip of the Flint Hills, which are called the Osage Hills by the Oklahomans, that's the last large, significant expanse of tallgrass prairie in the whole world.
So by the 1950s and the Eisenhower administration, people started thinking about, let's create a national park in the grasslands.
And it finally became law as one of the last pieces of legislation to come through the House in 1996 when I was retiring.
From the first proposals in the Eisenhower years to the legislation signed into law by President Bill Clinton, learn about the conflict and compromise that led to the creation of the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve in Chase County, Kansas. Be watching for the premiere of the documentary that tells its story, and see why it's called a love story.
That was really great. Thank you so much for showing that to us. So can you tell me how our viewers at home can watch this documentary?
Well, we're going to have a premiere here in Manhattan on November 20th, a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock down at the Wareham Opera House. And so that's open to the public. Anybody can come to that. Or if you aren't available that day, it's going to premiere on WIBW television the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Great. Well, I look forward to seeing it. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Vanessa. K-State men's basketball coach is optimistic about the upcoming season.
Plus, Manhattan High's football season gets another win under their belt. Find out what it means for the Indians next in sports.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
Our community is more than a group of people. It's a place where the golden rule becomes the purple rule. It's recognizing the value of every individual and affirming the importance of diversity. It's freedom to have a different perspective. It's honesty underscored with understanding. It's becoming a piece of the greater good. We are many, we are one. Most of all, we are family. What defines the K-State community? Compassion, honesty, you. Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories, labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail? Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. The K-State football team celebrates a road win this past weekend.
Let's turn it over to Channel 8 sports anchor Erica Young for more.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Quick update with what's going on in football for the Wildcats. Over the weekend, the Wildcats won against the Cyclones at Ames 31-26. Catch the Wildcats at home this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. as the Wildcats face against Oklahoma State Cowboys at the Bill Snyder Stadium. Manhattan High School has had some success lately, too. They're also rewarded for an 8-0 regular season for 2 seeds west side of Keisha 6A playoffs bracket. That meant for a round 1 matchup against 7 Wichita Southeast this past Friday. The Indians handled Golden Buffalo most of the game, finishing with 405 total yards, 352 of those coming to the ground. Manhattan starting running back Iverson Robb tallied 117 yards and 4 touchdowns for just 8 carries. The Indians won 63-20, moving on to a familiar opponent for round 2. Centennial lead 4, Washburn, took an L at the hands of Manhattan in week 2 of the regular season, 28-6.
You know, we're always confident no matter who the opponent is, and play somebody that we've already played before. We know what we got to do to come out here and get this dub, and we keep on this road to the state championship. That's what's most important.
Yeah. Catch the game this Friday at 5 p.m. at the Bishop Stadium in Manhattan. Men's basketball season had their first exhibition game last Thursday. Channel 8's Scott Pop has more.
The men's basketball season is finally almost underway. The team faced off against the Pittsburgh State Gorillas last week in their first exhibition game of the season. The team has 7 freshmen that have yet to experience gameplay or figure out their roles.
I think the whole team figuring out roles now that, over the next couple of weeks, and not only I told them last night, I don't want to tell you your role. It's better you figure it out on your own. Then you accept it, execute it, you take pride in it, and then we have a pretty good group.
A year ago, the team struggled to shoot the ball, especially in Big 12 play. They shot just 30% from three-point land, and it showed as the team finished 8th in the Big 12. Coach Bruce Weber said the Cats have improved from behind the three-point line this year.
The worst in the league last year. We've worked at it. We've added, Xavier's a good three-point shooter. Wes hit that first one. I don't know if he got another one maybe later.
The Cats ended up beating the Gorillas 85-72 and will face Washburn tomorrow at 8 in their final exhibition game before they start the season on November 11th.
Be sure to check out Bruce Weber and his team tomorrow as they take on Washburn at 8 p.m. in Bramlage. Also with the doubleheader for the women's basketball team right before at 5 p.m. That's all we have for sports this week. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Erica. You know, strange things happen on college campuses, and often those strange things make the best stories.
Stay here to find out about one student's not-so-sweet surprise on Channel 8 News.
Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories, labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail? Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
Family is everything. They're the reason you work so hard and your motivation to reach for more. Your K-State family offers a way to get that degree you've always wanted. Kansas State University Global Campus provides flexible online learning and professional development opportunities. We'll be there when you're ready. Enroll now for K-State Global Campus. Always on, always there.
Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning, conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again, crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted, proven, you.
A thief stole a Kit Kat bar from the car of a K-State freshman, Hunter Jobbins. You heard me right, a Kit Kat bar, when Jobbins left his car parked in front of Haymaker dorms.
But the thief also left something behind, an apology note written on a napkin. The note said, "Saw a Kit Kat in your cup holder. I love Kit Kat, so I checked your door and it was unlocked. Did not take anything other than the Kit Kat. I'm sorry and hungry." Jobbins posted the apology on Twitter, where it's gone viral. Sophia, do you have any surprises for us over the next 5 days?
Well, it's going to be getting a little bit colder, so like I said before, so you're going to need to definitely pack some jackets, some hoodies. If you're planning on going anywhere else in the country, then you'll still want to bring a hoodie or some type of jacket with you to help protect you against the rain and cold that might be coming up.
So you're saying officially the summer weather, 80 degrees, is gone?
It looks like it's pretty much gone. We're pretty much preparing for winter.
Thank you, Sophia.
Well, that's all we have for Channel 8 News.
And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Make sure you grab your jackets.
That's right. Grab the jackets for today. Thanks, guys.
This is Channel 8 News.